Hey, good to have you here. Welcome to ReachKeep.com. I want to give you 5 minutes to better engagement in your worship services. And I'm not talking about the standing up and sitting down. And I'm not talking about the sermon. I'm not talking about the singing or the actual, worship or people coming forward at the end of a service if you do that, or giving and those. But I'm talking about engagement with you as the primary speaker. It's things that tie them. And if you want some awesome Sundays, you're going to be connected to each and every person in the crowd, or as many as possible. And I know you can't get to them all. Let me give you just a few things that we do here that help so much. Number one is I like to, when possible, can't always do this, I like to hand out the bulletins. You probably have one. Well, I don't know if I have one here. But anyway, you have the bulletins, little things that you hand out, a worship service folder or something like that. I like to let the people come into the service, and then I go personally and hand it to them and hand it to them and shake their hands and greet them, and I kind of connect with them just individually. That's an awesome way to kind of get things started, and I'm perfectly fine with having everything else done so that I get time to do that as the primary speaker. You may not think that works well, but I'm telling you, when you get to connect with those people, that creates some powerful, powerful engagement. Another thing we do is sometimes in their worship service folder, their bulletin, we put a little yellow sticky note. And on that sticky note, we ask them to put down initials of people they want to pray for to come to the next program or come to the next Sunday, or, that have some special needs. And we have a special place that they can go stick those during our handshaking time. Another way that I really like, and this works well, is when they come in and I go up and talk to them, we have a large whiteboard we put in front of the church auditorium sometimes, right out there, next to the pulpit or off to one side. And like if we're doing anything on missions, we'll have people go up there, we'll hand them a marker, one of these kind of whiteboard markers, and we say, take that marker and go up there and write down the name of a country on the whiteboard. And so people come in, we hand them a marker, you just, hey, go write the name of a country. Now, not everybody does it, but a lot of people do, and they kind of get into it. And they'll write names of country, no repeats. And pretty soon you'll have, dozens and dozens of names of countries. And we'll say, hey, next week, think of some that aren't here, put them on there. We took a picture of it, put it on Facebook. If you think of something they're missing, put them on there. And by the end of a couple weeks, we had nearly every nation in the world, plus a few that were out of the world. We had Mars and Venus, and, we had all sorts of different interesting things that got up there. But we put those up there, and then I talked about missions. And it was able to focus because they were involved. It engaged them a little bit. We've had them write the name of their favorite sports team up there. And we had all sorts of different things. And I said, hey, you may like your football team or your baseball team or the one you played for when you were a little kid, but the greatest team is the local church. So there's some things you can do, really thinking ahead of time and getting people to engage in that way. We've had them write down things like what they're thankful for. All over the board. I've been thankful for my family, my kids, my dog, my favorite verse. The town I was raised in. All of those things get written on a whiteboard as well. That's been a good one. I've written down hope, fear, trust. I put big columns. I said, you find a great verse and write the reference underneath that, because next week we're going to talk about one of those topics, hope or fear or trust, and I would like to use those verses that you have, and it gives them a way to engage. It's just another one of those things that they can do. Another thing that's worked well at the end of the service, we've had standard, come forward type invitations, and people sign pledges, and they make commitments, and yes, pray for me, counsel. There's a lot of different ways to end a service, but we did one a while back, and it was called Hometown Heroes, and it was like the end of the service was like, I'm going to be a hero for a child. In other words, I'm going to live the right kind of life so a child can look up to me. And we had them go up and initial. We had this big Superman kind of a badge thing there, and they initialed that they were going to be a hero. And those are still, we have that hanging in our hallway. It's still there. It was a powerful way to get engagement. Now, all of these things don't come if you just kind of pop this into your mind, Sunday morning. You have to think about this ahead of time, that, 2-3 days ahead of time, 2-3 weeks ahead of time. I'm working on a series right now for the future that we're already kind of like, what's the engagement device? And I'm telling you, if you think these out, and they're very simple, they're not gimmicky, People love to be engaged in the service, and you will have some awesome Sundays when you engage people in your worship services through things beyond just the singing and worship and stand up and sit down and shaking of the hands. So this is Mike at reachkeep.com. If you want to subscribe to this, click the button there. We appreciate that. We'll get you more of these as these come along, or you can click on the link underneath in the YouTube video here and get to our newsletter list, and we'll be able to stay in touch with you and give you some great things to help you have awesome Sundays.